एनालिटिकल रिसर्च, एक्सप्लेनेटरी रिसर्च, जो भी आपके पास रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम है उसको आप सॉल्व करते हो. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल एक पर्टिकुलर कंसेप्ट को यू आर ट्राइंग टू क्लैरिफाई और एक्सप्लेन व्हाई इट हैज हैपेंड, हाउ इट हैज हैपेंड. डिस्क्रिप्टिव में हमने व्हाट फैक्टर्स सब लिखा था, राइट? व्हाट का क्वेश्चन आंसर किया था. यहाँ पे व्हाई एंड हाउ, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल व्हाई इज इट हैपनिंग, हाउ इज इट हैपनिंग. Like for example, if I construct a mall in a particular area, why am I constructing there? Because वहाँ पे crowd ज़्यादा है and it is a metro area, it's a hub where people meet. There are bus facilities, train facilities to reach there. How will the people reach there? Buses, trains or auto rickshaws, right? So this is what is an explanatory research. Are you able to understand? Are you following what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I muted my voice. Now I've resumed. Exploratory research is undertaken to explore a new area. Like for example, when we said this pandemic, what exactly is it? What are the symptoms? What could it cause? How can it be cured? How can it be prevented from spreading? Right? We started exploring into the area. Are you following? Like for example, when you want to make profits in the stock market, right? तो आप शेयर एसेस करते हो, क्या क्या शेयर्स है, कौन कौन से सेक्टर्स अभी अच्छा है, उसमें क्या क्या शेयर्स अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, एंड देन हाउ मच टू इन्वेस्ट, व्हेन टू इन्वेस्ट, ये सब आप एक्सप्लोर कर रहे हो न्यू एरिया, राइट? सो दैट यू कैन स्टार्ट मेकिंग मनी और यू कैन स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग योर एग्जिस्टिंग फंड्स. सपोजिंग आई से आई ऑल्सो एक्सप्लोर अनदर एरिया, म्यूचुअल फंड. अच्छा, शेयर से ज्यादा शेयर्स आर वेरी एग्रेसिव, नीचे जाएगा तो भी एकदम नीचे जाता है, ऊपर जाएगा तो भी एकदम ऊपर जाता है. तो लेट मी गो अ बिट स्टेबली. सो अगेन यू आर एक्सप्लोरिंग अ न्यू एरिया. दैट इज व्हाट इज एक्सप्लोरेटरी रिसर्च. कंसेप्चुअल रिसर्च. When I talk about conceptual research, कोई concept रहता है. Like for example, when I say the concept of profit, what actually is profit? Is it an addition to the wealth or is it an addition to your existing remuneration? So I'm going to research on this concept of profit, right? That is called as conceptual research. When ये एक particular concept ले लेते हो, profit, revenue जो भी है, उसके ऊपर आप research कर रहे हो. What exactly is this revenue? Revenue may mean different, I mean it means different things to different people. If I talk about a salaried class, revenue for me is different. If I talk about business class, revenue for them is different, right? Empirical research is also known as experimental research. क्या होता है, अभी एक फिनोमिनन होता जा रहा है. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ यू क्रॉस द रोड व्हेन देयर इज अ रेड लाइट ऑन, पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ एन एक्सीडेंट अकरिंग टू यू. आप लेफ्ट राइट देख रहे हो, गाड़ियां नहीं आती है, फिर भी आप रेड लाइट जब भी चालू है क्रॉस करते हो. बट देन in the past accidents have happened, so we are trying to experiment it. गाड़ियां तेज आती है because red light is on, pedestrians won't cross, but without minding the red light, if you cross, accidents happen. ये past का आपके पास evidence है, you're still trying to experiment with it. Are you following? Are you all following?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll repeat the types of research from where we started. Descriptive research will answer your what question as to what is exactly the state of affairs that is prevailing and what are the variables influencing the state of affairs. Researchers को इसमें कोई control नहीं है. Like for example, एक particular product का sale नहीं हो रहा है. What has caused the sale to go down? Is it because it's not updated with the fashion changes? Customer preference के हिसाब से वो नहीं कर रहा है. Costing high है. What are the factors that have led to the drop in the sales? Descriptive research. Correlative research is also called as causal research. दो factors के बीच में interdependence दिखा रहा है. Incentives, job satisfaction, right? Hours of work, job satisfaction. Crop growth, rainfall, right? Analytical research talks about analyzing the existing data. आपने information या data already collect किया है, ये data को आप analyze करके उसमें से कुछ निकाल रहे हो आप for a critical evaluation. Either you agree with it or disagree with it. Like for example, after 6 o'clock, if women go out, crime rates are increasing करके है, and they have collected data. You're trying to either prove it or disprove it. Explanatory research एक particular problem को clarify कर रहा है. Explanatory research, why is it happening, how is it happening, right? Problems क्या क्या arise हो रहा है, why is the problem arising, वो particular problem को हम explain करना चाहते हैं, why and how के questions answer करके. Whereas exploratory, we are exploring into the new area, like what is actually prevalent in the moon. Moon में sand है क्या, moon में water है क्या, all these things are exploring into a new area. Conceptual research, any particular concept is taken, like for example adolescence, right? Adolescence, so everybody goes through adolescence. Adolescence concept को clear कराना, what exactly is adolescent, कौन से फेज में एडोलेसेंट में जाते हैं, what are the changes that a particular human faces when he goes through adolescence. Are you all following? Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And in case you want to make note of different examples that I give you, every time I repeat the concept, I give you different examples so that you have a clearer idea. So make a note of the examples if you can. Empirical research is basically experimenting type. Like I gave you with a traffic light, if you don't obey the traffic rules, you may be subjected to an accident. Like for example, overcrowding may result in lesser efficiency in the customer service. Like for example, you go to a theater, you are asked to follow queue, right? Queue system helps in better efficiency, which has been a proven fact. Data आप collect करते हो ना, you've seen people circulating questionnaires on Google form, collecting data. This is what is called as empirical research. Evidence रहता है यहाँ पे, data रहता है based on strong experiments. Like for example, if you eat fatty food, you may be obese. This is a proven fact, right? It is empirically proved research. सब लोगों से डेटा कलेक्ट करते हैं, क्या खाते हैं, what is your weight, what was your weight when you were not consuming these, and then you prove that weight increase has been caused by fatty food. Following? Any doubts so far? Now we'll talk about research comprises of activities. क्या क्या होते हैं एक research में, हमने types of research देखा, research क्या है देखा. We also said research is a continuous process. Now we will see what are the activities that the research comprises of. Research talks about defining and redefining problems. What are your problems, right? How can the problems be redefined in the sense like say malls are all crowded. Can I put it in another way? People come here to spend their leisure. Weekends में crowd होता है. So you try to keep defining and redefining. Problem मतलब research problem बोलते हैं उसको, right? What actually needs to be researched? Is it true or not? How often is it true, right? And then you formulate a hypothesis. हर एक step जो मैंने यहाँ पे दिया है, we will discuss them in the upcoming lectures. एक एक activities निकालेंगे, ये जो steps दिया है. I'll summarize them into 7 steps and हर 7 steps का एक एक detailed lecture निकालेंगे, right? Are you following me? Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Defining and redefining problem. हर एक problem को हम research करते हैं. And we formulate a hypothesis. Hypothesis is a tentative statement which we are either going to prove which means accept, or disprove, which means reject. We will see everything. What is a hypothesis, types of hypothesis, what are the sources of hypothesis, etc. Right? How do you prove or disprove them? And then you start collecting the required information or data for it using various sources, from various sources rather. And then organize these facts or data collected. Evaluate the data, right? जो चाहिए नहीं चाहिए वो सब आप scrutinize करते हो. And make a decision. When you make a decision, you're going to analyze the data and then interpret and suggest solution. Recommendation आप देते हो. And then you reach a conclusion. What actually is it? Like I'll give you an example. I said malls are crowded during the weekend, right? I formulate this as a hypothesis. People prefer spending their weekends in malls. And I start collecting the data. How many people visit on Sundays? How many people visit on weekdays? Are you following? Yeah. So when I formulate the data, when I collect the data, I'm going to summarize this data. When I summarize this data, it is going to be, are you seeing my screen? Screen दिख रहा है मेरा?
Yes, ma'am.
So when I summarize this data, I am going to either tabulate it, or I'm going to say graphically plot it, and then I will evaluate the data. जो डेटा चाहिए रखती हूँ, जो डेटा चाहिए निकालती हूँ. And then I will fit a tool. Correlation analysis लगा सकती हूँ, या regression analysis लगा सकती हूँ. Yeah, there are many other analysis which we will be doing in the later part, depending on the type of research. And I make a decision. Right, malls are crowded on weekends. Suggest solutions. If malls are crowded, can we build another wing so that the crowd gets distributed and people don't feel completely in a crowded atmosphere, which spoils their weekend? So I suggest solution. And I will conclude saying weekends would be better if the malls are expanding in terms of their geographical locations. Maybe they can have it at, say, they will extend more wings. They will have more areas, more of this thing, food courts, more cinema plexes, etc. And finally, ये conclusion applicable है क्या, feasible है क्या? जो भी mall manager है, उसको पूछना है, या mall, I mean, whoever has taken up this real estate thing, is it possible? Area expansion के लिए available है क्या? It has to be carefully evaluated, right? And जो भी hypothesis है, is it getting into that focus of the hypothesis? Are you following? You redefine a problem and redefine it the way you want. Formulate a hypothesis so that you get a focus. क्या करना है actually? And then you start collecting the data or information. Process the data. जो चाहिए रख लेते हो, जो नहीं चाहिए, आधा भरा हुआ questionnaire will not be of any use to me. So I'll remove it, right? And then organize the data, present it, and evaluate the data. Tools वगैरह लगाते हैं, correlation हो सकता है. Simplest tool I'm talking about. chi-square आपने पढ़ा है, वो लगा सकते हैं. And then you make a decision. If ये chi-square test के results जो value आता है, उसके ऊपर आप decision ले सकते हो. And you suggest solutions. Yes, malls are crowded. Can the crowd be distributed? Right? And then you reach some conclusion. आप एक conclusion पे arrive होते हो. And finally, you test if the conclusions are fitting into your hypothesis. समझ में आ रहा है? All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, why is the subject important? Why should a student know his research methodology. He needs to, you all have a career ahead, correct? आगे आपको करियर के लिए ही आप इतना मेहनत करके पढ़ रहे हो. सो इफ यू वांट टू बी अ रिसर्चर, वैसे भी आपको एक सब्जेक्ट था प्रोजेक्ट, बट वो सब्जेक्ट हम शायद इस बार पता नहीं हाउ सिनेरियो गोस, राइट? वो प्रोजेक्ट के लिए कैसे करना है, इट इज अ रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट. सो यू नीड टू बी नोइंग द सब्जेक्ट वेल. यू विल बी ट्रेन टू डू बेटर रिसर्च. एक एक स्टेप आप फॉलो करते आओगे तो ऑब्वियसली यू विल बी वेल वर्स्ड इन हाउ टू डू द रिसर्च. और आपको एक फोकस मिलेगा. यू विल डेवलप अ डिसिप्लिन व्हेन यू थिंक. एकदम फोकस थिंकिंग रहेगा. बैंकिंग में करना है, कस्टमर सर्विस में करना है. बैंकिंग में क्या करना है, कस्टमर सर्विस में करना है. कस्टमर सर्विस मतलब इस ऑटोमेशन हेल्पिंग द कस्टमर्स और नॉट, इस पे करना है. सो एवरी टाइम यू विल हैव टू नैरो डाउन. सपोजिंग आई से आई वांट टू कुक, व्हाट एग्जैक्टली हैव आई शुड आई कुक, राइट? एंड व्हाट प्रिपरेशंस डू आई नीड टू मेक. वेजिटेबल बनाना है, कौन सा वेजिटेबल बनाना है, राइट? और जो वेजिटेबल लिया पहले उसको उबालना है या नहीं. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर गिविंग मी फोकस व्हेन आई स्ट्रीमलाइन, एंड इट विल हेल्प मी इन डिसिप्लिन्ड थिंकिंग. मेरा थिंकिंग जो है वो डिसिप्लिन रहता है, वेवरी नहीं रहता है. ये भी कर सकती हूँ, वो भी कर सकती हूँ, ऐसे नहीं होता है. एंड ऑल्सो जो फील्ड मैंने चूज किया है उसमें ऑब्जेक्टिवली सोच सकती हूँ, यही करना है, राइट? इंस्टेड ऑफ दिस कैन ऑल्सो बी डन, दैट कैन ऑल्सो बी डन. इफ आई डू दिस दिस विल हैपन, इफ आई डू दैट दैट विल हैपन. इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू हेल्प मी. एग्जैक्टली जो करना है वो मुझे सोचना है, राइट? सपोजिंग आई से I want to analyze the performance of banking sector during the pandemic. How is the fixed deposits of banks doing? So I am thinking banking sector आ गया, उसमें एक investment revenue आ गया. So I am only observing the FDs of bank. उसमें भी I am taking a private sector bank. So again it has narrowed down my thinking, right? So I am not attaching any of my personal here. I'm seeing only the objective. In case I work for Kotak Bank, I'm seeing Kotak Bank only as my research subject, and it is only going to be an object to see its FD, right? No sentimental attachments. Again, any kind of thorough understanding of the logic behind the research problem. Why am I doing this? In case, like see, for example, FDs were creating a problem. I mean, customers maintaining FDs were having a problem. Is that problem now getting resolved slowly? Why am I doing this? Is it safe to maintain FDs with bank, right? Is what again I am seeing. There is some logic behind me. I'm attaching some logic to my study. And will I be able to, for me, I have to evaluate the results. Data collect कर लिया. Collect करने के बाद I am trying to evaluate whatever results that I have got, right? जो results को मैंने evaluate किया, वो results confidently I am conveying. Yes, public sector banks have efficiently maintained their FDs. Then whenever asked for by the investors, they are also giving them back. ये confidently मैं बोल सकती हूँ because I am a trained researcher. I am getting trained in applying my knowledge of thinking in terms of research. And then it is useful in various areas like government. गवर्नमेंट क्यों पॉपुलेशन एनालिसिस करता है, अभी एपिडेमिक्स फैला है, कैसे फैलता है, कैसे उसको कंटेन किया जाए, ये सब गवर्नमेंट देखता है, राइट? बिजनेस, अगेन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, एनी काइंड ऑफ कम्युनिटी डेवलपमेंट, एनजीओ कितना करे, गवर्नमेंट कितना करेगा, social work कितना चाहिए, it is inviting volunteers, right? Now we'll stop for a minute, log in again because my meeting is ending. I just have one or two more slides to share. We'll finish that. Are you okay with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we'll log in again. ठीक है? I just have two slides.